Hey, it's Theo Manifavas here. So in today's video, I want to go over purchase orders, why they're important, and if you're a builder, why you should be using them for your building company. Okay, why we should issue purchase orders as a builder. So reason number one, the purchase order identifies the deliverables and the scope of works. So in many instances, you may think this is pretty clear, and it should be most of the time. However, I can tell you there's countless situations that I've come across where you're expecting a trade or supplier to deliver you one thing or supply you with one thing, and they think it's another, and that can be completely different. It could be a little bit off, but whatever the case may be, if you don't have that central or main document to refer to as the first point of call, being the purchase order, which identifies specifically that deliverable or the scope of works, it's just asking for confusion to arise, and it doesn't give everyone certainty as to what they're meant to be supplying or delivering for you on the project. So what I usually like to do is, at a minimum, I'd note on the purchase order as per quote 1234, or whatever your quote number is, and then I may put a few other points below that. So that would be the bare minimum. You'd refer it back to a quote. Otherwise, you can get a lot more specific in terms of the deliverables and the scope of works that you want to be noting down. So if the quote isn't sufficient enough, put more points there, exactly what you're expecting by contracting that trade or supplier. Otherwise, you can get a lot more detailed and note as much as you want within that purchase order document as to what your expectations are in contracting that particular trade or supplier. Okay, reason number two, confirms the agreed upon cost. So similar thing, the quote that your trade or supplier issues you with, or if they've issued you with rates, that's all well and good, but again, the purchase order captures the specific cost or price you're expecting to engage that trade or supplier for. So again, it just eliminates any confusion before they start the job, and you've specifically noted down a dollar value, what you're expecting from them and for what price. So if there is any misunderstanding, it can be picked up at the start and rectified at that point, rather than them starting the job and then misunderstandings or arguments arise as to what everyone thought the price was for them undertaking those works. Okay, reason number three, it outlines other important information in terms of payment, due dates, specific project information, such as contact details of staff. So it could be your project manager or your site manager. So it's just another opportunity, or the first opportunity, I guess, when you contract a trade or supplier, to outline important information regarding the project, and other things like I've noted here, like terms of payment and the due dates when you expect them on site. And it just gives you that opportunity to outline that specific project information. And what I also do is I include our subcontractor agreement and site safety information along with the purchase order. So it outlines and gives you that opportunity at the start of the job to provide them with all the further information they need regarding the project and working with your building business in general, outside of what their specific works or deliverables are. Okay, reason number four, assists with budgeting and cost tracking. This for me is one of the biggest benefits of issuing a purchase order, because it's the first point in the process or stage in terms of your financials where you can have the price in your system, whatever your project or financial management system is, and that assists you with tracking to budget and then tracking against the bills that come in, so you've got something to refer to both against your budget and both then when invoices come in that you have to approve, you've got that baseline cost noted in your purchase order which you're tracking against. So it's really the first point in your financial tracking system where you've specified the price. I should say it's the second point after your estimate, because that your estimate forms your budget, but then from there you'd use that estimate or budget to issue your purchase orders from, and it's that point there where you can start tracking that cost from the point of your estimate then through to when the works are delivered or undertaken. It gives you that reference point of what the cost is for the job. And then the final one, just to tie it all together, is that it acts as an overall risk management document for the project as related to the works. So pretty much points 1 to 4 cover that idea that it's a risk management document, because again, if we look at item number 1, we're identifying the deliverables and scopes of work, so there's no confusion or misunderstanding there of what we're expecting from the contractor or supplier. Confirms the agreed upon costs, so again we're making sure that there's no misunderstanding with costs and what you're expecting to pay, so that can be a big risk factor if there's uncertainty there. And with all the other important information that we're supplying them, again, that acts as a risk management tool, and particularly if you're, like I mentioned, you're issuing your subcontractor agreement and your safety expectations at the point when you're issuing the purchase order. Again, that's a risk mitigation tool or a way of undertaking the works where you're providing that information with the purchase order. And again, with financials, it's that first point where you're able to track your actuals to budget by nominating the specific cost within that purchase order of what the works will cost you or what you're expecting to pay. So I hope you found that informative and it gave you a good background and understanding as to why we would want to issue purchase orders. I work with a lot of builders and even experienced builders who've been around for years, and they're not sure as to the reason why they should be using purchase orders in their business. So whether you've been around a while or whether you're just starting out, I hope that's giving you a good background as to the reason behind purchase orders and why you should be implementing them in your business. So if you like that video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, as I'll be releasing similar videos to this to give you the why and the background and a better understanding as to why we do things behind the systems and the software we use within our business. And I look forward to the next video. Bye for now.